Yo, what up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to our Thursday evening classes. Welcome. All the newcomers, welcome to our stream here. All the our regulars here, welcome back, guys. So you guys know the whole spiel with our Thursday classes. We're gonna go through just a really nice base of sharpening for the entire for the first 30 minutes or so. Today's topic is going to be talking about these Suehiro dual stones here. So they're kind of like wedge-based stones that kind of look like a triangle at the one end, has a bit of a curved stone on one end, and then a bit of a smaller curve on the other side there. These guys are pretty unique. We're going to talk to you guys about these guys a little later on. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comment section, and I will be happy to answer these guys later on in the show here. But yeah, you guys are here basically for just a lot of just basic knife sharpening. So we're going to go on that and talk about just how to get started, what equipment you guys need to get started, what type of tools you guys need, maybe some extra stuff like shrink stones or Dagura stones, a lot of extra other things. So yeah, we'll get right into it for sure. So the type of knives I'm going to be sharpening today, today's knife is going to be this guy here. We have a little shop tester. This is our Masakage Mizu. Mizu in Japanese means water. This guy has a really nice kind of watery effect on the top end here. But yeah, this guy needs a good little sharpen. This guy has no edge whatsoever right now. It can barely cut through a piece of paper. Struggles quite a bit here, right? You can see like I'm not quite getting what I'm looking for there. You see it's not bad there. And the tip there, what it is now. So yeah, we're going to work on to different equipment. So we're going to go through like what we have in terms of the different and that we have in Knifewear here. About the zero stones. All right. So to get started with sharpening, so we're going to go through stones first. Sharpened. So the different abrasives. So the key abrasive that you will see is a kind of get a very coarse. And then you got their super fines, which polishes kind of refines the edge. So the first one we're going to start off with is actually just right in the middle, where the 1,000 grit stone or the medium stone. Everybody who starts off with sharpening should always get a medium grit stone, just something to kind of get the edge started or just kind of get it that can do a bit of everything, right? So it can grind away the steel, but it also can get the knife sharp enough where you can get through that nice paper sharp kind of result, right? So that's the one stone that everybody needs. If you're looking to make it a little bit faster, you maybe want to go for a coarser stone. This is our Knifewear 220. This guy is what's going to help to grind away a lot of steel. So if you have chips, maybe a very dull knife, if you got some damages, it's nice to start on this type of stone. As well as if you haven't sharpened your knife in a long time, you might need the stone too as well. The more you sharpen, the longer you have your knife, the harder it is to sharpen your knife is to be. So yeah, having a nice coarse stone is really nice to have around. Once you get those two stones, that's kind of like all you really need. But if you have a Japanese steel, you wanna refine it so you get the fullest potential of that steel. So in that case, we're gonna finish it on about a 4,000 grit stone. So going from a 220, 1,000 up to a 4,000, that's gonna give it a really nice sharp edge. You can go through different jumps if you want to go for maybe a 400, 2,000, and maybe like a 5,000 or 6,000. That's also possible. You can play with a lot of different varying grits to get to the end result. But those two medium and coarse stones are probably the most important part of sharpening. They kind of build that foundation of the edge there. All right, so once we get our stones kind of figured out, so we got the 220, we got the 1,000 and the 4,000, we can basically start sharpening, right? So we're gonna put these guys aside for now. I am going to pop out my 220 grit stone there. Right, so I'm gonna put this around the stage here. This is my sink bridge. You see it's held up my bucket there. It's got little feet on the bottom there. This helps to kind of prop up my sharpening stone a little bit higher up, so I have a nice knuckle room. And if you guys don't have this, you guys can always use another stone, maybe a stone holder such as this here, but there's a lot of different options. You can even put this with the towel on top of it, and you can sharpen right on top of that stone there. It gives a little bit more lift if you're doing it on the countertop. But there's a lot of very different ways that you can do this here. Okay, so we're gonna take our 220 stone, and to start off with this, guys, sometimes you need to kind of worry about like if you need to soak it or maybe just splash some water on it. The one way you can really tell is just apply a bit of water right on the stone there. If it pools up and it stays on the stone, that means it's a splash and go, right? If you get a brand new stone and it needs to be soaked, sometimes you get a stone like this, and if you apply a bit of water to it, it just soaks it up like a sponge, right? It just dries out super quickly. As well as if you were to soak this, you can see a bit of the bubbles kind of bubble up, and you can hear the sound too as well. That's how you can tell if it needs to be soaked. But the key thing is just making sure that the water pools the top of the stone, so you're not sharpening on a dry material. Okay. All right. So going on from the 220 stone here. So once we soaked it, get it all ready to go, we're going to take our knife here. And the key things with sharpening is consistency and angle, right? Those are the two most important questions that a lot of people ask us. It's like, what type of angle should I do it at? What type of, how do I measure my angles, right? So there's a lot of different varying ways. The easiest way that we figured out is just grab yourself a couple of nickels, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you guys look through your couch, you can probably find like 25 cents worth. All you need is about maybe, all you need is 4 stack, place it right on top of the stone there. And then you have that one extra nickel there, which can be placed right beside that stack there. And that's gonna give us kind of that separation between the stack. And when you place your knife right on this edge of this nickel here, it's gonna give us a distance. If we remove that nickel and start to kind of fall it right there, you can see it gives you a certain type of angle to it. And that's gonna be the angle that we sharpen on, right? It can be roughly around 15 to all the way down to like 10 degrees, depending on how large the stack of nickel is. But it can vary, and basically it's just there to help us guide keep the angle more consistent. Oh, that was blinding. I hope I look a little better now.
It looks much better.
Much better, yeah.
It's got the light all set up and it just did not turn it on.
Just blinded me as soon as you turn it on there. All right, so yeah, it's just a guide to help you figure out what angle you need to do it at. So I will set my angle here, move the nickels, and that would be the angle I'm comfortable sharpening at. And then I just use like my fingers maybe to kind of figure out which angle I need to do it at. But you're not going to have the stack of quarters back there all the time helping you out. You just want to keep it nice and consistent, and try to build a bit of muscle memory as you sharpen. Right. Another trick that I figured out is just use a simple magnet, like one of these guys here. And you just place it around the back there, and that gives you a nice little guide too. That's my little secret. Don't spread it, guys. So yeah. Once you guys get the angle, we're going to start sharpening. We're going to use our hands here. So one hand is going to apply pressure. The other hand is just going to help to maintain the angle as well as keep the same, keep it as steady as possible. Okay. When it comes to sharpening the blade, I usually start with the tip of the blade first and then work my way down to the heel. Sometimes you can do the, in most cases, a lot of people start off the opposite way, but I find the tip is a lot harder to do. So I go the opposite way. But yeah. Let's start with the tip first, right? So the way to do the tip is you actually have to raise your elbow a bit, right? So when you sharpen, you want your body straight, but as you get into the curve, you want to like kind of lift it off, lift that, get it at a certain angle, and then lift the handle towards the tip of the blade, and that should be able to kind of get that curvature of that portion of the blade there. You're going to be rocking it back and forth. You can see my elbow go lower and then go higher up. That has to, so that it can curve to the weight of the knife is, right? So it takes a little bit of practice. It's always the hardest part. So be very patient in this area and just go nice and slow. Two fingers as your pressure, and then we're going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? As soon as I do 10 strokes, I'm going to reposition my fingers a little bit lower, right? Probably in that position I wasn't touching, right? And then continue on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And then continue on to dance your fingers down the blade road, right? Feel patience. You don't have to put a lot of pressure. You're putting about maybe 2 to 3 pounds of pressure, not a ton lot, right? And you just want to make sure that your fingers get all the way down to the very heel here, okay? So once you count 10 times all the way down, you got a nice consistency. We're going to check for the what we call a burr, right? So this is the key tricky part, because this is a very important part in sharpening. So what a burr is essentially you're trying to it's like a wire or a metal hook that goes out the other side. What you're trying to do to the knife is you're taking a really rounded edge and you're flattening out the sides of the knife, and basically as you reach the very apex of the blade there, it becomes very flimsy and just kind of get knocked back and forth as you go up the stones. It's like kind of like clipping your nails and then you get that really rough part and you file it down. It's kind of like that, right? So once you get the burr, right? Once you get the burr established, you pretty much know that it's all the way to the very edge, and you establish that peak there. Okay. So the way that you would feel it is take your thumb, the side that touches the stone will have the flat side and it will hook over to this side here. So when you take my thumb, I'm going to brush it away, and I should start to feel a little bit of like a rougher kind of catch, right? It should be pretty obvious on a rough stone like this. If you don't feel it, you have to go back. So in this case right here, I don't feel anything. It's actually a pretty dull knife. So at the tip there, and continue on to sharpen. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And continue to dance my fingers down the blade here. Okay, you can see my thumb and now my 2 fingers are starting to touch. Okay, and quick little check again. Right, nice gentle brushes. You start to feel a little bit of that wire hook. If you feel like it's right around this tip area and you kind of brush it along your fingers and you don't feel in this area, but you do feel in the back end here, that means you haven't established the burr just quite yet in the middle. So if you don't feel it, that's where you're going to apply the pressure directly with your fingers, and that's where you're going to focus your sharpening on. Do it 10 times again and work your way back down to your thumb. All right. Once you've done a couple of times, you want to check again to see if that burr is there. And now the burr should feel super consistent across the blade, right? Shouldn't be any empty spots. If you do, go back to that spot and raise the burr there. And yeah, just do very patient. Be very, very patient. Just keep a nice steady angle, and you'll eventually get that burr. So once it's nice and consistent, you can take that blade and just flip it onto the other side. So in this case here, I can either switch my hands to my left and right. Some people are not ambidextrous. That's completely fine. You just basically will rotate the knife 80 degrees, 180 degrees, right? 180 degrees. Yeah. 180 degrees. Okay, so just rotate a little bit, and the process is the same thing, right? You're going from the tip of the blade down to the heel in the same fashion. You still have to raise your elbow just a little bit, get the curve, and then you'll lower it as you get to the belly of it. Okay. One other important factor is when I started sharpening this knife, I'm a right-handed person, so I started with my right hand, and then I moved to my left side. That gives you more of a right-handed dominant side. Not the most important factor, but something that you want to keep in mind if you are sharpening one side more than the other. Okay, so once I've done it with the other side, the burr should be knocked off the other side and move on to the other side. So we're going to brush the other side of this blade now. It should feel the same burr across, in this case here, and right down the middle again. Nothing that I feel. That's where I'm going to focus my attention on. Okay, and give it a little quick check. Right, so right there, that's good to go. Perfect. Right. So from here, like what I like to do is I like to knock off the burr, so that really, really sharp edge that we just developed. I'm just going to do a couple brushes, basically taking the spine of the knife, leading with the spine, trailing the stroke of the edge there, right? And just do it about 2 times, right? And that's just knocks off the burr, so I can feel a really nice sharp edge to it. So from there, that's pretty much done for the 220. Don't need it anymore. I can just put it back in boiling water, store it away, or keep it for the next knife that you sharpen. to the next knife. So we got the our Knifewear 1000 stone. This is great for beginners. It's just a really smooth stone that has a bit of muddiness, which makes it really easy to understand how it feels to sharpen a knife. Great feedback as well. Sharpen and cut really fast. So yeah, great stone to start with. As well as if you want to do more advanced sharpening, it's a lot easier to do that too. So yeah, we're going to move on to the 1000 grit stone. The whole thing. So in this case right here, so since we work from 220 to 1000, do is just refine that edge. I'm doing very light pressure, maybe about 1 to 2 pounds pressure, and I'm just refining the edge, getting rid of all those really deep scratches that I made with the previous stone, and really refining that edge, right? If I were to start on this stone, I would have to develop the burr and refine the edge all at the same time, right? So that's why I like having 2 stones. But if you just have that 1 stone, you have to raise a burr with the 1000 altogether. It's a little hard to find, but it's still very possible, right? Okay, so I'm gonna take my stone and place my knife exactly how I did the first side, and repeat same side. So this is going to feel a lot smoother than the last time, right? And you don't need to put so much pressure this time around. Okay, and just give it a quick check. There we go. That's pretty much good to go. Right, next side. Nice consistent angle. Working way down to the very heel. And good to go, right? So nice sharp edge. And you see how fast that was. It might not be as fast as for you. It depends on how thick that edge is, as well as like how soft the steel is. Sometimes not all steel sharpens the same way, but be very patient. In this case, because I have a carbon steel knife, it just works really well. It sharpens really nicely. So if you want to get into sharpening, maybe get a white carbon steel, maybe get a blue carbon steel. Just get carbon steels. They're fabulous. All right, so we just finished with the 1000. Again, we're gonna have to knock the burr again. So just take my edge, right? Feel where the burr is, and just edge trail the stroke there, and just kind of knock that off. And now you don't feel any burr whatsoever on both sides of the blade there. Okay. So once you knock off the burr, you can put this away, and we're gonna work on to our next stone here. So this is a Knifewear 4000. So this is the next step up. You can go from 1000, you can jump up to a 3, 4, 5, or 6K, or however you like. The more refined the edge, the sharper it is, but you're making those teeth very, very tiny, so you might not get the bite that you're looking for if it's not that's appropriate steel to work it all the way up to a 6K. But yeah, played with different stones. You might like 6K for everything. You might like 5K for everything. No one's going to tell you how to sharpen the knife, right? Do it however you like, honestly. This one's pretty unique. So this one's got a bit of a dirtiness to it. So I'm going to get the camera here. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This guy right here has got little dark spots on it, right? So that's from the previous sharpening. In this case right here, the stone is still pretty flat, so I'm not going to shoot it down, but I'm simply just going to use an agur stone, right? I like using a agur stone because it tells me if my stone is flat. It also just cleans off and lets off the particles off my stone here. And the other thing is it creates this mud, right? And you can see how fast that mud gets developed. It's super quick, right? The mud helps with a bit more evenness in terms of sharpening. You have some free floating grit everywhere, and it polishes much better. So I like to develop a mud as much as I can. And as you work your knife, it'll get darker and darker and a bit more black, and that's completely fine. Just don't spray it off. It's really good for the knife, right? So just kind of start with a couple strokes first. Light pressure. All I'm doing is just burnishing that steel now and just polishing. Okay, very, very light pressure. Okay. You don't have to go as fast as I am. I'm going pretty quickly, honestly. But you can just take your time, right? Speed is not a factor. It doesn't make the knife actually any better, but it just sharpens faster. But go as fast as you can feel comfortable. Okay? After a couple of those strokes, right? you should be able to kind of feel a very tiny burr. If you don't feel a burr, that's okay because it's getting to finer stones, so it's harder and harder to kind of get your fingers familiar with that feel. One way that we figure it out is you point the knife directly just like that there, handle towards you, point away with the edge upwards, and you're using your thumb to basically just prick and touch the very top of it. So sometimes you get some people who sharpen a fresh knife, haven't sharpened or done anything with it, basically will flick the edge and be like, one side is sharper than the other. Why is that? Well, that's because it's got that burr, right?
It sounded exactly like your impersonation of me, and I feel very attacked right now.
I wasn't doing that. I'm sorry. But yeah, like it's you just flick the edge of the knife, and then if one side feels far sharper than the other, that means it's got a burr that's developed, right? So you just want to make sure that it's nice and consistent all the way through. So it's right down the middle here. I don't feel much. Apply a bit more water. I'm gonna use some clean water because clean water is better than dirty water from the bucket and getting all that crud that I just sharpened. Yeah. So we're gonna get the 4K. Just kind of retouch that middle part that I didn't quite get the burr on. Okay, and give it a nice little touch there, and there you go. That's a nice looking burr. Okay. Moving on from, I didn't do it the other side yet. So moving on to the other side, just do a nice little flip, right? And bada bing, bada boom. So I can't wait to show you guys this edge here. One of my favorite looks on a knife is like a really nice patina carbon steel edge with a super shiny edge to it. Super satisfying to look at. Okay, so after you do a couple strokes with the 4K on the other side, test to see if you got the burr on the blade, right? Nice and consistent all the way through, right? Once you figure that out, let's go back to the stone and just simply strop it off the edge there. Okay, a couple little strokes like that. Okay, and a nice little wipe down here. Okay. So at this stage of the knife, it's pretty sharp, right? Like we can probably give this a person, and the person will be like, "Oh wow, that's a sharp knife, right? That's incredible." But it's has a bit of those burrs still. We did sharpen it with a stone. It's possible to do with that guy, but we're going to sharpen with a different type of material here. We got strops here. So strops does usually come with like a leather side or it's suede, cotton, something that you can apply like some kind of compound with it, and then leather is usually standalone by itself. And that gives you a really nice kind of cleanup of the edge here. So I'll show you what the edge looks like right now. It's sharp, right? I can't tell. I can't really show you more than the fact that it's sharp on camera here. But to my knowledge here, it's quite loud. So I'm gonna have the mic a little closer to me, and you can hear it here. Right? I'm not too sure how loud that is on camera. Or on computer there.
Do it again. I'm getting the bar.
I'm getting the bar. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right, so that's how loud that is, and we're gonna give it a quicker strop here. Right, quick little stroppy strop. I'm gonna give it my leather with a bit of that chrome alongside. Right. So what I'm doing is like I'm pretending that this knife has a bit of peanut butter, and this is my piece of toast, and gotta spread that peanut butter on toast. Right, so just nice and gentle, tip to heel, right? You can also do this section by section if you prefer to do it this way. Just go, what the hell is that? Enjoying your margarita there, Owen?
Oh, I was.
Eh?
Yeah, it's all gone now.
Okay, going into the back side there, just a couple stroppy strokes. Oh no, I nicked my strop. They're on camera too.
How embarrassing.
God damn. Okay. So once you do both sides, and you got a nice little stroppy strop, as well as you're not supposed to do it any higher than your angle that you sharpen on, so just try to keep it low. And then let's do this again here. Right, I'm not a little bit smoother, much smoother than before. It's a lot quieter. Let's show you guys on stream here. Get that super shiny edge there. You see that shiny edge?
Angle it a bit. Other way. Other way. There we go. There it was. Wiggle it around. That. Yeah, you see that edge on there now. There we go.
Yeah, buddy.
Beauty.
Okay. So that's the edge of a 4,000 grit stone. Now, when it comes to the edge, it will look shiny, right? Consistency is the biggest part, so if you feel like it's a little bit rounded, don't be afraid. It just comes with a lot of practice. Just get very confident at it. The more you sharpen, the more you're confident in your angles, the better you are at it. It takes a bit of practice. Spend like a good couple of months on it, and eventually you get as good as me, right? But yeah, anybody can get into sharpening, which is great. Other than that, we're going to show you guys one more thing before we move on to the Suehiro stones here. Is we're going to show you guys how to flatten down your stones, because that's pretty important. Everybody thinks about how like, oh, I got to buy a stone and a strop and like the horn rods and the knife and stuff like that. But when it comes to sharpening, once they end with everything, they don't think about taking care of the stone because they think this thing is going to last and be flat their entire lives, but that's not the case. What you need is what we call a trimming stone. They come in two different ways. They come in either a silicon carbide variant or a diamond variant. Personally, if you want, if you're just sharpening knives and that's all you're gonna be doing, grab yourself a silicon carbide version. This guy is kind of bonded together with silicon carbide, and it has a really nice abrasiveness to it. So for stones, it's gonna stay flat while moving some of this material here. There's a 220 stone, and most of your stones are gonna be like kind of lower than that. So you get a couple passes with the stone. You probably want to like draw on the stone, like maybe some pencil marks or some kind of drawing on top of it, and that way you can see where the low spots and high spots are. So this is great for any sharpener who's starting. If you're getting to sharpening and you're sharpening like stuff like Nyanagibas, some single bevel knives, maybe you're doing a straight razor, getting to more specialized thing, you really want to get serious into it, grab yourself a diamond stone. These guys last a lot longer, they cut faster, they actually are true flat. Not really too flat, but it give you a lot closer than what these silicon carbide ones do. These ones can start to wear down a little tiny bit. But yeah, like you just want to make sure that you're not sharpening anything other than just knives on that guy. So like if you had a pencil, we have a little pencil here. It's going to draw a. Okay. Right. Draw a little map there. Grab my stone and a couple passes up and down. So I just used the stone a couple minutes ago and. See like that side there, that's probably the side that I use the most there, right? So it's still got a drawing, it's got a low spot. So that's where I'm going to continue to pass the stone until all of it's the same color or the same flatness, right? If you do this quite often, you don't have to spend a lot of time for it. So in this case here, you see how fast that was? That was like minimal, like maybe less than 20 seconds that I did it. The more you sharpen, the less frequently you use this guy, the longer you spend flattening your stones. So do it more often. It just saves you a lot more time in the future. I learned that the hard way, guys. Right, so that's pretty much it for sharpening there. We got our knife all sharpened up and good to go. If you guys have any questions about the whole like kind of process of like just you started off with sharpening, pop in the questions right now. Owen's got we'll relay it back to me.
Blank said you were going way too fast.
Oh, Blank's going too fast, eh?
Yeah, we're going too fast for Blank. You can't keep up with your sharpening.
Oh no, sorry.
I think he just feels like kind of threatened.
Don't feel threatened. I'll go a little bit slower this time. I need to slow down anyways. I'm going way too fast for a lot of people. I'll keep that in mind for next time there.
That's okay.
Doc.
We actually we plan to do the first 30 minutes about basic sharpening, and we're at 30 minutes and 15 seconds right now.
I'm on point.
He's on time.
I'm on point. That's just me just being on time. So don't feel bad. I'll go slower next time. Don't worry. So let's talk about Suehiro stones actually. So with all our stones that we sell here, essentially they're all like blocks like this here, right? What are the dimensions of this? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember the actual size. You can grab a ruler there.
Yeah, I got a ruler. I got a ruler. Okay. So these guys are like 8.5 inch by 3 inches or so. Pretty standard size blocks of sharpening stones. These guys are usually always flat with them. Not very handheld at all. So in the past few weeks, now it's been a couple months now, we've been carrying these stones called the Suehiro confidence symbol.
Confidence symbol,
dual stone.
What does confidence symbol mean on there, you think?
I don't know. I think it's just like maybe Suehiro means confidence.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the symbol of confidence. But you know what? They're pretty confident in their product.
There's a close up of that package. That's what they look like. There's a 300 and a 1,000. Is that what it is?
300 and 1,000. Yeah. So these are the two different types that we have there, right? Personally, I like the 300. It just cuts a little bit faster. But if you're
you have that little axe down there too?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. So I'm doing on the axe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. X. Okay. I will not do the ask me question thing. Okay, I will not do that to people. Yeah. So like we have these stones here. So the great thing about the Suehiro stones is they're more like handheld stones. There's a couple of things that you can do with them. You can take them outdoors. Like if you need a little small pocket knife, they come in this nice little case here. So they're very easy to kind of take with you if you're camping. Maybe you're doing some field work or something like that. Maybe you need a sharper knife. You need to touch up your stuff. Some fishermen's. Sometimes fishermen uses those knives that need to go through like rope and stuff at the serrated side of it. This is something that they can use to really touch it up. But yeah, they're just basically touch-up stones for being outside.
Or if you got one of those, I don't know what it's called. It's got the hook on the back of the knife for like cutting fishing line.
Like a seatbelt thing.
Yeah, that's probably like the perfect size for that.
Yeah, it's got like a really thin side to it. Your imagination goes crazy over it, right? You can do whatever you feel like it's capable of doing, right? But yeah, it's just a tiny little pocket knife. You can see compared to my hand there, is about the size of my palm. So a couple things that you can do with them. Most obvious one is bread knives, right? Bread knives, if you touch them up once in a while and don't let them dull out super far in, you can keep that sharpness of the blade a little more consistently. So essentially, just take the side that fits into one of the serrations a bit more, and you just want to place it down and just go in one direction, basically. Just kind of, it's almost like deburring the knife, right? So all you're really doing is just going in one direction, go nice and slowly. What you want to do is you want to make sure this is also wet too, right? And just go slowly between each teeth.
They are splashing though, even the 300.
Yeah,
right?
they're splashing though.
Yeah.
I noticed like when I Yumi actually was reading the packaging, and I don't know if you guys want to hear this, but on the packaging it says that when you're outside you can use water or your spit.
You use your own spit.
You can use your own spit.
Gross.
Yeah, that's kind of gross. I would not recommend that, but water's pretty easy to find outside.
Yeah.
So yeah. Getting into this guy, you can also use the other side. See, if it's too small in the section and it doesn't fit, you can always kind of just go in one direction, just kind of curve into that shape with the curvature, right? All you really do is just really refine those teeth on the blade there, right? So that, yeah, it's nice and super simple. Maybe you, say for example, like I usually carry a pocket knife with me, right? And sometimes have like those serrations on the back end that can also be used to touch up your knife as well. So funny enough, when I was reading this box here, there's a picture of a guy that's fishing line of a fishing line.
Yeah.
So like if you need a sharper edge, you need to poke your or something like that. I don't know if it works. You just sharpen up the point a bit better on this guy. So that's another thing you do. If you need to just simply deburr your knife on the stone outside the field work, say for example you got a big elk that you just shot down, and you need to take apart, but you don't have a sharp knife. Once in a while, you need to strap it up and just get on with whatever it is. I don't do that. One day.
Francis the Hunter. I can see it.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
Things like if you got a Kiridashi, and you can basically do that. You see how fast it cuts the steel, right? So, and it gets a really nice, like, look at that. That's actually quite nice there.
Oh, nice. That was quick.
Yeah,
Nice little Kasumi on there.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Super easy. The stones are like a 300 grit stone. Really easy to use, and you can use the backside too as well, right? So it's really easy. Yeah, wash your hands. Keep your hand. You know, I had this very funny story. When I first,
I'm not gonna like this story.
Yeah. So when I first learned how to sharpen, I actually saw my dad one day took the stone, and he taught me how to do this on the hand, like this right here, right? And I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. So one day I went when I was like just about to go to school. I was like, oh, like I'll show you this cool little trick, and I did it at the same time, but I cut right into my thumb here.
Oh.
It's not fun. That's what you want to keep in mind, because the knife is still sharp, where you can actually get. Yeah, you know the whole story there. I'll just stop. Okay. Yeah, just be careful. Keep your hands flat. Make sure that you don't get your thumbs in the way. Okay. So yeah, those ones, these guys can be used outside and stuff like that too as well. If you wanted to maybe do it in the opposite way, some people don't like to have a hard time maybe moving the knife and getting to the curvature. Instead of moving this knife, you can just move the stone and just kind of do it like that.
That's actually how I've been doing it with the serrated bit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how Takeda sharpens.
Yes, exactly. It does it too as well. You can use a flat side if you don't feel confident with that curve area. But yeah, just move the stone up and down at a certain angle, and you can do it the same way, right? A lot of different possibilities. It's a nice little field stone. Take it outside, maybe do it on, maybe a handheld stone. When Owen was mentioning the axe, this is a great stone for an axe. Then he brought the chair. You probably want to sit down for this. Okay, so you want to sit down for this type of sharpening. And what you want to do is, a lot of people with sharpen, like they think that when you sharpen an axe, you would have to take the axe and be like curving the axe, and like, this thing's heavy, man. Like, I don't want to carry this when I'm sharpening. Do the opposite way around. Grab these Suehiro stones, soak in a bit of water, and what you want to do is, because you want to keep the axe as even as possible, you just want to do both sides of it very evenly, just looking from the top and just doing nice little circles, right? So you get a nice little handheld, like, sharpening stone for your axes too. Like, great for anybody who's starting off. Very easy to use. Nice circles. You don't want to go up and down, or else you're not getting the edge. So just nice circles all the way down, and then other side as you continue on there. Okay. I wonder if Nathan has a different way of doing this, actually.
I'm sure. Right? Yeah, I think he does a similar version of what you're doing here. When I'm sharpening an axe here at the store, I'm probably not going to use a stone. I'm probably going to use the belt sander.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're out in the woods, you don't want to bring your belt sander. That would suck.
Yeah, that would suck. That's heavy, man. That's heavy. Yeah, just like it's just nice to go type of stone. Maybe you need a sharper edge to it. This is your best friend here, right? So yeah, that's one of the great things about having these stones too. It's just like you sharpen your axes. If you don't have one of these, and you want to sharpen your axes, get yourself one of our cheaper $10 stones. It does the same thing, right? A lot of options out there, right? So,
how much are those guys? It's 68 for the 300,
68 for
and
the 300,
80 for the 1K.
For the 1K, yeah. They both work really fine. If you want something a little bit rougher, get 300. If you look to really refine your edges and get a really sharp edge to your skinning or any outdoor thing, get the 1000. It cuts easily, but gets a sharp edge to it.
Come with a dope little case. They're splash and go. They feel really hard. Yeah. Like, I feel like they're gonna hold their shape really well.
Exactly. And don't forget, you can use your spit.
Yeah, you can spit on.
You can spit on the stone.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best part of this. Is that you use your spit. I will never know. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions so far? You guys are pretty quiet today.
Yeah. If you guys got any questions, just holler at us here. We're more than happy to chill out and take any Q&A. Ask us anything.
Yeah. If you guys can ask us anything.
Probably mention garage sale.
Oh yeah. Let's get into like some announcements here, guys.
Yeah.
So getting into next Monday, right? You guys can hear us all week here. We're having our. annual spring garage sale, right? Woo! One of our favorite times of the year. It's like a lot of knives. We got some Saki's. We got a lot of unique knives on the website that you guys can go on and check out yourselves.
What's the name of the blacksmith, the one that you're super excited for? The Bunka?
Miyazaki.
Yeah, those look really sick. Yeah.
We have the bunker, right?
Yeah,
I think it's pretty sick.
Stainless steel Kuroshi Bunka 180.
Oh, that'd be great.
We're pretty excited about this time.
I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of the stuff about garage sale that Kevin and Naoto and Lordy have been cramming down their throats, but yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
They've been previewing this stuff. I think it was Friday or Saturday. All week, and just like showing you guys to show you guys like the inventory that we have. I believe they're doing another one again.
Yeah, I believe it is tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
1 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quick.
Tomorrow, 1 p.m. PST.
If you guys are interested in some stuff, you guys want to look at a knife, you guys hop onto the show tomorrow and figure out what you guys want to see, and they will give you their own opinions and their ideas of what the knife feels like. So yeah, if you guys are interested, check out those guys. And that runs for about 1 week, all the way till the end of the week. Here in Vancouver, the sale starts at 9 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Yeah, we're not opening early for you.
Yeah, sorry. The sale starts at 10 o'clock here. Most of it's going to be online, guys. So if you guys are looking for a really unique one-off special knife, look online, not in the stores. If we are going to have a couple of things in store, I believe Ottawa is still closed, right?
Ottawa
unfortunately,
will still be closed.
Yeah, so you guys won't be able to shop in Ottawa. But Vancouver, Calgary, and the Edmonton shops will be open for browsing. Still going to be limited capacity, so bring your mask and sanitize your hands.
Yeah, don't be a jerk.
Yeah. So that goes for about 1 week. First day is the best day, so make sure you guys mark your calendars, your alarms, and all that kind of stuff. Whatever you guys do out there. And then also we're still doing the free sharpening for all the industry folks here. It's maybe another week until the May long weekend, I believe, in BC. I'm not sure what's happening in Alberta, but basically until everybody goes back to eating inside, that's when the whole free sharpening is over. But yeah, get you guys knives in here. Let's sharpen your knives, and we'll love to help you guys out throughout this whole pandemic thing.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah,
it's been going on for a long time now.
Yeah, we're almost there, guys. I think the whole Vancouver store is going to get vaccinated too.
Yeah, everybody here is going to have their first dose by the 20th.
Yeah.
We're really
hopefully
excited about that.
By this end of this month here, we'll all be we'll be close. We'll be very close. So, all right, we're excited for that. Any other announcements we have going down there?
No, I think we pretty much got it all. Yeah, we got our other programming on. Don't forget to watch. Oh, no, Naoto's not doing a class tomorrow. He did one yesterday.
Yeah,
he had a special class yesterday, but that's usually tomorrow at 4:15. And then we have our Knife Nerd 101 boys who do their thing, and that's every Tuesday.
Yeah, and we also have, if you guys are on the YouTube channel right now, which you guys are, you guys can head over to our main page and watch our second episode of Sharp Knives Rock.
Yes.
That was pretty entertaining. It's a little episode about the competition between Lordy, Naoto, and Kevin doing some chopstick Skittle stuff.
We had our own competition here, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had this.
We had a.
My son was on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out, guys. We also had our own little competition ourselves here, a little short clip for ourselves here, so you guys check that out too. Very fun episode if you guys are interested. Little secrets. Maybe play the speed at ×2 and go for 24 minutes 30 seconds. You'll thank me later.
Yeah.
Other than that, guys,
I got a couple of questions. So I have a real question first from Chris D. Sorry, blank. I'm going to do a real question first. He owns a few Masakage Koishi. I've sharpened the edge away over the years, and I'm starting to hit the cladding. At what point do I just send it in for some thinning?
Well, the feel of the knife, right? So the cladding is getting close. I would start to thin it right now, because at that point there, you're gonna have to thin it at some point, right? So why not just start it now, get that edge going, and you'll save because you're thinning out the sides. It's gonna be a lot easier to sharpen the knife, keep it sharp, as well as you're not removing as much material, right? Sometimes if you get it really thick, it gets you neglect thinning the knife. you're removing a lot more material, which is not necessary. So just thin it as quickly as possible. Do it yourself, send it in. But it's always nice to do it right away. Like I usually, every time I sharpen a knife, I thin on a knife at the same time sharpen, right? And that way I never lose that nice tapered thinness or geometry to the knife, right? Yeah, try it out yourself or send it in.
Yeah, if you're nervous about fitting it, totally understand. You can always send it to us and we'll turn them around for you like a split and they'll be fucking dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, I'm sorry, Blank. Your question is real.
Sorry, Doc.
The sandwich question. What is your favorite sandwich, Francis?
What is my favorite sandwich? Oh my god.
Did you ask this question?
He asks this every friggin' time.
You know what? To be honest, like I don't remember my favorite sandwich.
Oh, come on.
I remember. I think the last time I was a Cubano.
I think we were talking. We narrowed it down a little bit, like to Cubano, Clubhouse, and what was the third? Reuben.
Yeah.
Reuben,
Yeah. I believe the honorable mentions. You had grilled cheese, classic. BLT, classic.
You know what I don't like? I don't like the bagel BLT.
Bagel BLT.
I don't like
I can fuck with a bagel BLT.
No, I don't like a bagel BLT. It's just kind of weird to me.
If any of you guys out there watching are in the city of Vancouver, hit up Solly's right near the shop. Their bagel tuna sandwich is absolutely fantastic too.
Solly's is amazing. There's a place on Smith's on Broadway called Smith's Bakery.
Oh, Smith's is the best.
Little hidden gem for you guys. Get the
yeah.
sandwiches, man. They're so worth it. Yeah, there's a lot of hidden gems right now. The Potluck right now is doing some really killer sandwiches. They're doing like their salted egg yolk sandwiches. Oh,
yeah, I saw that. It was a salted egg yolk sandwich, crinkle cut fries, classic, and a beer for $20.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great takeaway, man.
Have it for like once a week. You'll be gone in no time.
Francis, have you gone to the beach recently to grab any more stones?
I have not. You're gonna do that once a month, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're gonna do that once a year.
Whenever Poseidon's feeling extra.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't gotten in contact with Poseidon in a while, so you guys have to wait till next year. Wait till next April. Guys, any more questions there, Owen?
What's your favorite?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I like something that's like really like party.
Like, oh man, like Chinese oxtail soup is bomb.
Yeah.
Oxtail soup is amazing. Yeah. My mom used to make like basic oxtail soup from like a powder. Man, like I don't know where to find it now. That stuff is so good. It makes you think of childhood.
I like good bucket potatoes.
Yeah.
That's the soul.
I really like the it's jingling out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Too many keys, too many business.
I'm a big fan of tomato bisque.
Tomato bisque, yeah.
Even though tomato bisque isn't a real thing, it's just tomato, but like tomato soup.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's always classic.
Woks in Van. We do have some of the woks here in Vancouver. I've got the stuff from Kogyo, Prince Kogyo.
Yeah.
And we have some Yamada stuff en route. Those guys are always sort of slowly trickling in. Those ones are completely handmade, so they're a little bit here and there. Like this selection is spotty on it, but they'll always come through. The Prince Kogyo ones, in my opinion, are really, really nice, and I have lots of those.
Yeah, those are really nice. The construction of those guys are much nicer, I find. If you want a cleaner kind of look to them, and they also have a really nice bamboo handle to them.
All right, new question from Blank. This is a very serious question. So everybody get serious.
Okay.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
Oh my god. Okay, so pizza topping, I actually really like mushroom arugula. I just mushroom arugula.
Mushroom arugula.
Yeah, that's just it. That's it. That's all it is.
No.
Maybe like slap an egg on it.
Oh,
that's all it is. That's all I need.
Pizza. That's really
That's
key.
all I need.
That's
Like
a
seriously,
clutch
like I don't
pizza.
need meat. I don't need meat on the pizza.
I
I don't really need it. Yeah.
They do a very, very good pizza by my place at Pizza Carano on Fraser. It's honey, pistachio, and Serrano ham.
We had that last time.
And caramelized onions.
That was so good.
Really, really good.
Pistachios on a pizza.
It's great.
great idea.
There's
It's
also
so good.
there was this place in Edmonton. They did something called the Luca. I can't remember what it was, but it was an egg on top,
Mhm.
and it was like nuts and seeds and burrata.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, that was really nice.
I
too.
remember
That
going
is
to
tight.
Kelowna. There was like cherry and duck pizza. That was
That sounds dope.
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, blank. It's a fried egg just right on the middle of the pizza.
Fried egg.
Yeah,
If you guys are ever in Vancouver, you guys want to get some killer pizza, you guys should hit up these guys here. They're called I don't know if you guys can. I got my iPad's full of fucking shit here.
Good pizza.
Good pizza.
Yeah,
There you go.
These are our big time homies at the shop. Go hit up Good Pizza. They're doing a pop up right now at Modus.
Modus,
Yeah,
yeah.
still at Modus.
Yeah, hit up. Basically, you go to Peak the Pizza YVR on Instagram. We got a link for you to purchase one of their pizzas. They're available Wednesday and Thursday, and they have a walk-in service on Fridays. It's very limited, but they do some like deep, like some really good deep pantry pizza there. But yeah, it's so good, so good. Definitely hit up Al and the crew there for good pizza there.
How about pork tenderloin and caramelized apples?
Sounds good.
That sounds interesting.
yeah.
I'd try it. Yeah.
Pork chop and apples is actually a very classic.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's that's an old
Applesauce.
school thing. Pork and applesauce. Yeah.
Applesauce. Oh man, I haven't had applesauce in a long time. Sounds amazing.
I'd fuck with that pizza. That sounds good. I would peel the apples for sure.
Yeah, peeled apples.
Yeah.
Too much nutrition.
Mm.
Nutrients, so to say. Yeah.
All right, anybody
Um,
else got
yeah,
anything for
guys.
us? Yeah, we're just sort of
We're just kind of cruising along now.
we
If you guys-
deteriorated into this part. Of it.
We're getting into pizzas and stuff like
We
that.
used to sharpen things.
Yeah. What? We sharpen things?
Yeah. That's what all of this stuff here is for.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like, I don't know, playing with stones.
Yeah. Stone time with Brando and Owen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and don't forget Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah.
He's
Jordan's got a
here.
sweet metal band. What's her name? What's the name of the band?
Impathos.
Impathos.
If you guys wanna-
catch that episode 2.
Yeah, if you guys check out our shows like the Onion Wars as well as the show the Hostage Pepper video, you guys can dig a bit of a tune on Jordan's Impactful Band's songs there. Amazing.
And in pathos, if I'm not incorrect, if my Greek is okay, I believe that means to have no sense of desire.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Yeah, look at this. I know my mythology. I know my Greeks.
I don't know Greek at all. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find us some more resources.
Yeah.
You guys hear a big old screaming boy, that's me. I'm in the shop.
Yeah.
He does throat stringing. I'm actually really, really impressed.
Every now and then at the shop, he'll be out here mopping while we're closed, and I'll be in the back doing cash, and he thinks he's alone. And I'll hear him at it, and it's the most terrifying shit. I swear to God.
Exactly. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to dislike and unsubscribe on the channel here. I know you guys haven't said that all stream.
And if
But
you
it
guys
really
enjoy
helps
the
the stream.
video, make sure to subscribe first, just unsubscribe after.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget to do that. And yeah,
That's it.
that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you guys next time.